Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of On the Boundary. Just two coaches chatting cricket. Mr. Spinach, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm good, thanks, Coach. How are you?
I'm good. I see you are representing today.
Nah, it's not even a representation, but yeah, in terms of next, we you don't stop in one of the boys.
I know you love them very dearly. But yeah, it's that time of I don't know whether to say time of the month or time of the week. But there's been quite a lot of cricket going on. There's been a lot of cricket. South African teams have been participating in a lot of cricket recently. But I think let's chat. Let's first chat about the World Cup, the Cricket World Cup, the ladies that are participating in at the moment. First game, we are bundled out, 69 all out. People are saying a lot of things. Hey, this team is not good enough. Hey, it's the coach. Hey. What were your thoughts, Coachy, when you heard or when you saw that we were bundled out for 69 in our opening game of the World Cup?
Uh, Honestly, shock first of all, because I was lucky, we can say now, to miss that one. Didn't watch any of that one. I missed it, so I was quite shocked at 69 all out. Obviously, this team is a lot. Uh, Honestly, shock first of all, because I was lucky, we can say now, to miss that one. Didn't watch any of that one. I missed it, so I was quite shocked at 69 all out. Obviously, this team is a lot better than 69 all out against whoever,
Yeah,
Australia even. So being 69 all out, you start questioning things. Was it a horror pitch? Was it one of those where someone special starts bowling something special? You ask a lot of questions, but honestly, I was just shocked. But you know me, I don't go into panic mode. Uh, but once I saw the opposition as England, I was like, it could be an off day against a good team, which when those things happen at the same time, anything can happen. And it being the first game of the tournament, we still had a lot of games to go. We had a tough
yeah,
start because we were going to play New Zealand and India within the first few. So I was like, if this is our bad game, we've got it out the way. Let's try win a few in a row and get in this tournament. Didn't think it would happen as well as it has. I thought we might lose one more at least, but before Australia. So really happy with how things have unfolded since then. But as I said, I was really shocked, but worried not yet.
yeah. No, but it was a serious shock. Even I don't think anyone expected us to be bundled out for 69. But what a comeback it has been! What a comeback it has been! Probably one of the best comebacks in we have witnessed in cricket in over in I don't know in a very long time. Um, Getting bowled out 69 first game, you go into the second game, we dominated. Third game, we dominated. Even in the last game that was rain affected that we played, we dominated. What do you think has been the biggest sort of change or that one thing that makes the team that's been making the team tick?
Uh, I don't think we can. Okay, we might want to look at Nadine and what she's done, but I feel like what's happened is what the men's team had done throughout the Test Championship, where we always find someone to put out a performance. So that's how this team has been doing it. First few games, we had the openers struggling. We didn't have a big partnership to start off, but now Laura has got into it. Yes, Tassie has had a few ducks here and there, but we still know have had a performance from her during the World Cup as well. So it's been that, it's been Laba, it's been Gap every now and then, it's been Nadine, obviously, with those two knocks against India and I think New Zealand. No, Bangladesh, actually. Then it was, what's her name?
Masabata
Forgetting
class
on
as
Chloe
well.
Tryon. Yeah, Masabata in that last one. Chloe Tryon with the ball. Chloe Tryon with the bat. So as you sitting here listening, I'm rattling out too many names for us to go and say it's been this person. So we've been lucky enough to have performances from pretty much everyone in the team. Sunay Luce has also gotten a knock in every during the tournament. So this is how we like to do it as South Africans. We don't like to look at one person and pin it all on them. We've had a good tournament since that first one because of that. Everyone pitching in and playing a style of cricket we enjoy. Scoring 300 in a 40-over game might not be very South African, but now it is very South African, and we're liking that form of cricket.
Yeah, that's true. Cricket is a very funny game. I was looking at Tasman Britz's form from scoring 300 hundreds in a row to getting 3 ducks. To getting 3 ducks. I just don't remember whether it was 3 ducks in a row, but I know it was 2 ducks in a row, and then there's another duck somewhere, but I think it's the third one in a row. So she basically went from purple patch to 3 ducks in a row, which is something I found very interesting. But yeah, been watching the game, and there's something that I've personally picked up with regards to how we're using Unonkululeko Mlaba. And I remember I had a chat with a few people on Twitter as well with regards to how the captain or the team overall use Umlaba. We felt we tend to hold her back too much. Even when she's bowling well, you'll find that she'll probably get just 2-3 overs, and then they'll stop bowling her for like 10 to 15 overs. Sort of like to say we prefer using Umlaba when we're in trouble instead of using her to sort of dictate terms in the game, dominate the game. If she's bowling well, you can give her 10 overs straight just to dominate the game. But it's sort of like we bring her back to get us a wicket, then we hold her back to wait for then until we find ourselves in trouble, and then again to bring her back, which is probably why a lot of our games tend to go to the 40th, even the 50th overs, because instead of using her to try and bundle teams out, we keep holding her back. I don't know what your thoughts are with regards to that, Coach.
I don't want to call it a concern, but it's also been a thing for me. Even when they bring her on, it's not necessarily first change or quite early. In some games, it's been Chloe Tryon first, and then Nungululeko. So it's working. We're winning games, but obviously we feel like it's not the optimal use of her. We could dominate more games earlier on. We could capitalize on the brilliance that is Lefty, because by dragging some games on, we could get into trouble. We're going to have a big test in our next game when we play the Aussies. And with them, you do not want to give them a sniff because they bat all the way down to whoever. So once you're on top of them, if you ever get on top of them, you want to keep going. They were 70 for 7 in one game, and that's your chance. Ball them out for 90, because once you let them get a sniff, they keep going. they keep going, and they all can bat. So it might still be a learning aspect that we could have on our captain, Laura, who a lot have been questioning her captaincy every now and then. But maybe it's still part of the learnings that she could take through. But I do agree with you. We could use Lava a little better. And another thing with our team is that it's not like we all depended on who lefty. So we do have Chloe Tryon, we do have Sinead Lewis, we do have the seamers in Gap, Glass, Kaka. We do have Nadine de Klerk as well. So it's not like once she's done, we can't restrict teams, we can't keep the attack going. So she is our best weapon. She is probably our best bowler, depending, especially on the conditions we have, because Gaga and Gab might not be swinging it and moving it as much in those conditions. So let's look forward to the knockouts, and maybe that's when we will be using her and having her attack a little bit more earlier on even.
Yeah, I think playing against the Australians is going to be a bit of a tough one. Our captain is going to be tested because I reckon they're going to go after Lefty. They're also going to go after Chloe. So I think it's going to be massive. Whoever is going to be the person for us with the ball might not be the person that we normally depend on. For example, I think, like I said, I do think they're going to attack Chloe. That's what good teams do. They tend to go after that one person that wins you matches. That's the one person they just try and take out of the equation. So they will attack Umlaba, and they will probably attack Chloe. She's been getting wickets. She's been bowling well. But apart from that, I think, well, I read a post on Facebook that someone wrote about a possible selection conundrum that the coach and the selectors might have in terms of selecting the team. And one of the questions that the person asked, well, there were about 3 questions. The first question was around the wicket-keeping position. Whether do you go with the youngster in Ukarabo Meso, or do you continue with Usinalo Jafta, who I reckon her batting has improved. It is not there. It is not yet where I would say it should be, but I think her batting has improved. Wicket keeping wise, I think experience, the energy she brings to the team is massive. The fact that she contributes towards reviews and stuff like that, and I've seen her call for reviews and we get crucial wickets. So that was the first question, which is around the wicket keeping position. The other one was, do we continue with? Okay, so Annika was dropped. I'd say because she didn't play the last game, the last 2 games, man. And then Annery Dirksen was picked, but also she has not fired yet. But we know towards the end of last season, she and Nadine were were our pocket rockets. They were smashing the ball. So with regards to these 2 questions, Coachy, what are your answers? The first question is Karabo behind the stumps, Jafta behind the stumps. The second question is Annery Dirksen, Anneke Bosch.
It's a good position to be in a way. 2 quality players in each of the selection headaches we've got. I've been, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I would have liked Karabo to have taken the opportunity a little bit, especially with the bat. Yes, she hasn't had a a lot of games to showcase her batting, because I think that's where it's yes, Jafta has improved a lot in her batting, but I think that's the only part where Karabu might have had an advantage is the
Yeah.
batting, where I feel Karabu is a better batter than
Okay.
Jafta, because we can all agree with the keeping. Karabu might become as good or even better than Jafta. But at the moment, I feel with the nerves, with the inexperience, with she hasn't put out her best foot forward there as well. So I think the selections sort of go along with each other. If the other batter is contributing between in Dirksen or Bosch, we can go with Sinalo and trust her keeping and the way she bets as well, because she can, like in that 69 all out game, she was our best batter. She
Yeah.
contributed
Sort of 26.
20 odd. Yes. So she can manipulate the board. She can get you quick runs here and there. But if you're looking for a bigger contribution, if I could say, you you'd look at Karabo being the more likely to give you a bigger innings of 50 here or there. But I'm in a position where Bosch hasn't blown us out the water for a while. We do have that World Cup innings where she smacked the ball all over the park.
Yeah.
So for me, I'd like to stick with Dirksen for that one and free her up in a way. And I feel like what would free her up is a good opening stand, not
Yeah.
Tasman going out for Ducks for a while. So if we could get her coming in with a proper platform, I feel like she might be set free a little bit more, and that's where I feel it's where she is at her best. Nadine has found a way to come in, get going, and then start hitting big sixes. And I feel
She's
like
an
Dirksen needs to. I feel like Dirksen needs to find a way to get going. Once she
Yeah.
gets going, we know how hard she hits the ball and how far she hits it. So we just need to give her that opportunity to get going and find her gear in a way of how to get going. So I'd stick with Dirksen, and in a way, I'm fine with going with Karabo for one more game against Australia. And if she doesn't get going there, and then I'll bring back Jafta with the experience for the knockout. But if Karabo gets a knock, gets her keeping, because I feel like one would influence the other. And if her batting comes good, then I feel like she will be able to get her keeping up to a standard that we require from our international keeper.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I hear you, and I get where you're coming from. But for me, I think for the semi-final, I don't know. I'm also big on experience, but at the same time, I believe experience is no one is born with the experience. If you don't expose them and give them the opportunity to gain the experience, then they will never be experienced. So I'm tending to lean towards what you said, giving Ukarabo one more game and then seeing how it goes. But I do, to some extent, I do feel like we missed out on an opportunity to have Okarabo playing at least 10 to 15 games before the World Cup. I think she's played less than 10 women's ODIs at the moment. But I think there's been enough opportunities for us to actually try and blood her in and have her playing in the team for at least 10 one-day matches in a row. Because even in the matches that she has played, there has been times where she has not batted in the top seven as a wicket keeper. So while she has played a handful of numbers, she has also been moving up and down the batting order. But I also agree with regards to Anna Dirksen. She's the younger of the two. I'm big on giving the younger players a chance, especially when you can see that their ceiling is big. I'm not to be too harsh on Annika, but I think she has underachieved a lot in one day in one day cricket. You look at her numbers, you look at the number of innings she has played, the number of hundreds she has scored or the lack thereof. You look at the average, and for someone who bats in the top four, you would expect a few more fifties and hundreds in there. So yeah, I'm also saying we need to keep backing Anna Dirksen, especially towards the semi-final. So let her play the next game. Even if she doesn't fire, I'll still back her. Let's head into the semi-final with her. You don't know what might happen, and just hope that the form that Dunedin has hit stays until the semi-final, because the semi-final is going to be it's going to be quite tricky. Just before we move on from the Women's World Cup, in terms of our bowling attack, sometimes I've felt like our combinations are a bit off. If if Aya is playing and Kapi is playing, both of them, if they don't fire, we tend to get into trouble. That's when we always need Lefty to sort of chip in. Also, Masabata, when she plays, if the three of them don't fire, we tend to find ourselves in trouble. Then there's a player that I think is quite underrated, Utumi Sekukune. The way she bowls in the middle overs, those slower balls that she bowls in the middle overs. But now my issue is we cannot have all three of them all in the attack, even though Marizan bats in the top seven. Because for me, ideally, when I think about it, I think it would be a complete bowling attack. It's just unfortunate that none between Ukaga, Uklas, Umlaba, and Sekukune, none of them can bat in the top seven, which now complicates things for us. Because I think if we could have one of them being able to bet in the top seven alongside Umar Zankap, we would actually have a complete bowling attack there. Because you open the bowling with either Uma Sabata no Marizan or Aya, and then the other one is gonna come first change. Because I think first change is a bit too early for Unadin. I know they like using her as a first change bowler. I don't see her as a first change bowler. I see her as a bowler that bowls in the middle overs, where you're just trying to control the run rate, where you're just trying to tie the batters down, which is a role that I think Utumisu Kukune does better with her variations and stuff. So I don't know what's your opinion. What's your opinion in terms of our bowling combinations coaching?
I agree, and it goes back to that selection headache we spoke about. Because I feel like if one of the batters up there are firing, especially with the keeper, then we can be looking at that extra batter being a number 8, and with Nadine coming in at 7. But with the perfect being, because I like the balance we have with Nadine coming as late as 8.
Yeah.
It's allowed us to free up, even though we haven't had a lot of from Dirksen, as we've said, and the keeper, but it allows the team more freedom when we're batting. We've got all the way to 8, even though we've always said as coaches is as a batsman, the fact that there's another guy coming in next shouldn't free you up. You bat for your wicket and you
Yeah.
bat your way, no matter how the lineup is set out, and you don't give it to the next guy. But with Nadine coming in at 8, it's been a luxury that we've had throughout this tournament, and her performing as well as she has, it's allowed us to win a few games against the big teams, even like India. So it's I hear what you're saying, and it's an unfortunate, but it's the luxury we've had to have. What we are in at the moment, that we've got players like Klaas, we've got players like Tumis Kukune who are forced to sit on the side. But I feel like it's a luxury, not necessarily all a bad thing for the Proteas ladies to have people like that available to come in, who I agree with you are quality.
Yeah.
Class showed us in one of the games that she can come in and take wickets, keep it tight at the top, move the ball around. And I agree with you totally on Dumis Kukune. In a way, I feel like she could have worked on her batting. Uh, I feel like there was something there. I remember watching an inning the season before, or but quite recently, where she did put out some runs out there. So she is the one who I'm hoping can be that number 8 for us. She can bat. She can bat. She now just needs to put the numbers on the board. So I feel like she's the one who's next, who can improve enough for us to shoe her in. Maybe not in the top 7, but at that number 8 position if need be.
Yeah. So we're winning this World Cup, coaching. How are you feeling?
We
What are
need
your
to.
thoughts? Do you think this one is ours? Time for South Africa.
I've heard a lot of people already speaking us about we playing England in the semi-finals and how we're going to recover from that 69 all out. But I think we can beat Australia, shock them now, and then we'll get an easier game, easier being India in the semi-final, and then we'll take it from there.
But also, I don't think England can beat us twice in the same World Cup, man. I refuse. I never believe that there's a team that could beat us twice in a World Cup, even with the guys.
Yeah,
I know it's possible, but for me, it's always something that I struggle to think and say, no, this will happen.
I hear you, and I agree. It's always nicer to play a team that maybe not nicer because you always want to beat everyone, but a team that's beating you, you always have that fight back that you want to put through to the
Yes,
team.
you want to show
So
them.
you want to show them that you've improved, not that you've improved, or that you don't have off days all the time. So
Yeah,
a team like us, we keep saying we can beat anyone on the day. We can't have 2 days where we don't beat someone. I agree with you.
yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. We are going to hammer the Aussies, and then we are going to play India in that semi final. But I don't want us. I don't know, man. I don't want us to play a side that we've beaten. I do not want us to play against the side that we've beaten. I want us to
So
play against the side that has beaten us. I want us to play against England because for some reason I just believe it's not easy to beat one side twice in the same tournament. I don't know. It's just a conspiracy theory or whatever you want to call it that I have in my head. But yeah, it's been a successful World Cup so far. Also, we must say kudos to Enoch. We are gaining weight because of him. The number of semi-finals, the number of semi-finals we've made it to, and the number of semi-finals that we've won, it's something that we've never seen before in our cricket since we started following cricket. So if they see us gaining weight, they need to understand that we are happy. We might not be winning these tournaments yet, bar one tournament that we've won, which is the Test Championship, and we are going to defend it. we are seeing things we've never seen before. We are making it to semi-finals for fun. So eventually, there's one semi-final that's going to give. But now, Coachy, let's talk about the Test series. Let's talk about the tour to Pakistan. Let's start with the first test. The first test is there. We see the team that was picked. We had Jacques Kallis 2.0 batting at 3, which is something that did not work out. We had 3 spinners, which is Subrian, Simon Harmer, and Mustasami.
Sami.
We got hammered in the first test. Our batters looked at C. Our bowlers tried. Mustasami got 11 wickets. KG also tried. She was also reversing the ball, but we couldn't do. We just couldn't do anything. Devil Brevis got a duck in the first innings. Then he scored a 50, but it was not a match changing 50. Tristan Stubbs, which is currently the talking point at the moment. I don't know how many times I've had to defend him. We're dropping catches. He's dropping catches. Uh, did not score runs, and people were saying we need to drop Stubbs. We need to move on. There was a lot, man, that happened. There was a lot that was said, just based on the first test. And yeah, what were your takeaways from that one test match, the first test match against Pakistan?
You know me to be positive, and I do not like bringing up controversies, but a lot was said about a lot of people, but nothing was said about Kyle Reina, and he seems to always find a way to get away with it sometimes. But let's look at that. What was spoken about? Vian Mulder batting in at 3. I didn't mind that. I had no problem with that. I still don't think it was the wrong decision to have Vian Mulder playing the first test match. Uh, I was unhappy with the balance of the side, especially a side that has started Aiden Markham and Deval Previs. You don't need to play 3 spinners. Some captains can't use 3 spinners. A lot of captains can't use 3 spinners. And especially if you've got quality spinners like Simon Harmer and Mutasami, who showed himself in that first test match. Uh, I would have gone with Janssen coming in for Subrian and had someone to open with Keshavna with KG. We saw how much the ball reversed in both the games. So you always want to have seamers available for you to use.
Yeah,
I feel like Vian is a little slow for that.
yeah,
But as I said again, he could have played as a batsman. I wouldn't have minded that. Uh, and my issue was Stubbs. Yes, Deval's got a first bowler, so we do not know how positive he would have been if he had gotten in. But that second innings 50 from Devalt, I would have liked that in the first innings because I feel like he and Stubbs sometimes go into their shell, and that pitch for me was turning from day one. So if you're gonna go out there and try to block it out, especially if you don't have any expertise of doing that in the subcontinent, as they are fresh in this international scene, I'd rather you play positively like Devalt did in the second innings than try to prod along. So I feel like even that first test, yes, we got hammered in the end, but it was there for us. We had Tony DeZorzi scoring 100, and the way
yeah,
he got out, I didn't like that because he could have kept going there. If we eliminate the lead in that first innings, as we've shown in the second test, Pakistan can't bat in second innings, and we would have had a much bigger chance in that game. So it looked bad in the end, but I think it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be. Uh, Mutasami bowled well. Rian Rickelton batted brilliantly. Tony Tezozzi batted very well. Aiden got another start. Uh, so we were there and thereabout. 93 looks like a big lose, but we could have been a lot closer with Pakistan even in the first game.
Yeah.
So I didn't I didn't lose all hope after the first game. I still had a bit of a belief that we could do something and we just needed to tweak it here and there, and Keshav was coming back.
Yeah. It was actually good. It was actually good to have Keshav. I think he. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. He's just fantastic. Greatest Red Bull spinner we've ever had as a country. I know other people are going to mention some spinners who played in the black and white TV era. I'm not a huge fan of those people. I was not there. Yeah, even when I watch their footage, it doesn't please me, to be honest, which is understandable because I grew up in this era and I've watched this era of cricket. So yeah, I think having Keshav back was massive. Shukri again showed that he knows what he's doing. Second test match, people are still screaming drop Stubbs. Others are saying drop Vian Mulder. And I've got to give credit to Shooks. I think he's a mastermind. Even though sometimes I don't agree with him, his decisions always have a way of vindicating him. So everyone is saying drop Stubbs, drop Stubbs, drop Stubbs. Shukri does what? Shukri says, Mulder, sit out, Stubbs, go bat three. And I don't want to lie, I was shocked because I'm like, this guy is struggling for runs. But you're throwing him in the deep end. You're holding him at three against those spinners on rank turners, and that paid off. Stubbs scored runs. I would have liked it to be 100, but he scored runs, and I think it was massive for his confidence because his confidence has been low for quite some time now. Because Stubbs is actually one of our best fielders, but it seems a lot of people have forgotten that based on what has been happening recently, which is recency bias. But I think it was a mastermind. It was a masterstroke from Ushukri. What are your thoughts on that? Would you have dropped Stubbs for the second test? Because I personally think when you are playing a two-match series, rather have everyone play whoever plays the first test, rather have them play the second match as well. Because I've got this idea in my head that sometimes when someone plays the first game and you drop them for the second game, they would chances are they would have scored runs compared to someone who was playing his first game against the same bowlers.
I agree with you. Sometimes you build up a game plan by playing the team in that first game, even if it sometimes doesn't pay off in that first game, but you sort of have an idea of how you want to do things in that second game. So,
Yeah.
as I said in my previously, I wouldn't have changed much in the team. I might have even given Jan Mulder another go. I just would have liked to have Janssen in the team from the first game, even as the extra ball, and then gone in with two spinners. But I agree with you. I wouldn't have made a lot of changes in that middle order. I would have kept Rivers. I would have kept Tristan Stubbs. I might have not batted him at three. I might have wanted everyone to just move one up because that was the noise I made. I remember screaming at the TV when he came in at three. But why are we pushing him up there? Why don't we just move everyone one up? But it paid off. As we say, Shukri always finds a way to make things happen.
Yep.
So I didn't mind Tristan stuff. You and I know we're two of his biggest fans. we're frustrated by what's happening with him rather than would like to give up on Tristan stuff, which is why I say when Deval Brevis played that 50 or 50 balls in that first test match, I was saying, Tristan, why don't you also free up a little bit? But he showed us he can do it at 37, at a strike rate of 37,
Yep.
which is something a lot of people don't uh, know about Tristan Stout is he can go into his shell and bat well. So now we know he can do it both ways. And I think he just needs to keep being backed. The confidence is coming back with that 50. Hopefully, it will come back in the field and he will start scoring runs again.
Yeah, no, that's true, Coachy. So, but we'll have a chat about the series in India. So no need to chat about it now. There's also the T20 series coming up, but I think we can just maybe have an episode for that. A short one, just chatting about the T20 series and the squads. Because I'm struggling with my network now. I don't know what's going on. I'm hearing a lot of sounds here, so I'm worried it's going to spoil the whole episode. So I think we can actually wrap it up. It was a good comeback from the Proteas. I'm happy we didn't lose the series. The biggest challenge now is for us to go play against India, which is going to be I think it's going to be a fun series. It's going to be exciting. I just hope it doesn't take us back to 2014, 2015, because that was a very horrible Proteas series. It was sad to watch. But yeah, I'm still giving it to Shooks. I think his decisions, as much as a lot of people might not agree with them, they find they have a way of vindicating him. So I wish there was another test match in the series against Pakistan. I wish there were at least 3 matches in the series, but I guess we'll take the 2 matches, Coach.
Yeah, I will take that draw. We dominated the second one, and it looked like we had gotten our foot into the door. And if there was a third one, we might have performed even better in that one. I feel like Aiden was a big knock coming. Tony was batting too well. Ryan Rickelton was batting like he's back in Joburg. So we were waiting for that one more inning now for Kyle Verreynne to show us what he can do. So it was looking positive for the Proteas, and I really did want a third chess match here. But we'll move on to India with a little bit of confidence, and I think India might be. They need to be quite brave to go and put Bunsen burners against Keshav and Simon Harmer with their inexperienced batting at the moment, because it's not as experienced as it was then. Virat is gone. Shubman Gill is still young in the test arena. They've got Jaiswal at the top who can take it away from you in the first innings of the first day. But I think they might need to go a little bit more balanced with their pitches for now, because we're not hopeless on spinning tracks at the moment. So it's going to be a fun series. I agree with you. It might be one with the bat rather than with the ball, with whoever bats well scoring a little bit more runs than the other team, because I think we can nearly match up their spinners at the moment, especially with Ashwin not playing anymore. Yes, Kuldeep is the wild card, but we'll chat about that closer to the time.
Yeah, and the best part about that is that we're going to have Utemba back
Temba
in the
back.
squad. Yes, that's
Might
the best
complicate
thing about
selection,
that.
but
We will talk about that. Otherwise, it's been a while, so it's always fun chatting cricket. whoever's watching, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, watch the other videos, comment, ask questions, share and subscribe, blackmail your friends to share. But for now, until you see us again on our next episode, thank you and goodbye.
Cheers, people.
Hey, my network is very bad here.